good to see your face over
Good to
video.
see you. I got a little thing in the mail.
What's in the box?
Look there.
Oh, you got some Messenger.
I did. And
Are you signed up for their subscription service?
I am not. But
I think that's I've got what's the word? I've got a lot of coffee. I've stocked up on coffee. So I'm good for a little while, but I think that after that I'm going to do the Messenger subscription. Or there's a subscription service that actually does coffee from a bunch of the local roasters on rotation. Is this a gift or is it just you just bought one?
Nope, I got it and I wanted to get, I know, believe it or not, what does that say?
Daniel Linhart.
I wanted some good tasting decaf because I'm trying to drink less caffeinated, but I love the taste of coffee. So I like
when
a
everything
good
falls apart, you'll survive and I will have bad headaches, but I'm okay
I like the idea of having a pour over, but then I like stuff on drip throughout the day because I love the taste of coffee.
I do both as well.
And I'm just like, decaf.
I can only have my 2 cups in the morning and then I just switch to water.
Good.
And then at about 11:30 a.m. I switch to whiskey. So
well, everyone, we're going to have a different type of episode today. This is more of an intervention.
That's right.
We need to have a conversation with Mr. Brooks and 11 a.m. whiskeys, which actually sounds
kind of good. Well, Daniel, we've been talking about a lot of things lately.
Mm-hmm.
Before COVID, before the quarantine, we were really focused in on how product teams work collaboratively, how to think about our structures, how to think about our disciplines that we have to do our work and our postures, our mindsets about how we do that work, and lots of other things around teams. I thought we'd just take it in a slightly different direction.
I love it.
And I want to look outside of Crema, outside of the team, and look at what the world's doing right now.
Okay.
I was perusing the old interwebs, and I noticed a bunch
as one
does when you're at home and you have internet. I was looking through the fact that so many companies, obviously, that are tragically struggling right now, hospitality, food services, things like that. But then you have these other companies that are just like hockey sticking up and really taking off. So I thought we'd take a look at what are some of the industries, what are some of the companies, more industries, let's keep it maybe general, that are that this moment is going to be a time that just like pushes them to the next level.
I think one.
Yeah, go. Just jump in.
Let's just dive in. Let's just telehealth. Let's go into telehealth a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's like a combination of multiple industries.
Yeah,
telehealth specifically.
Yeah, absolutely. For the last couple of years, we've had conversations with some entrepreneurial physicians that are moving towards, what is it? It wasn't a telehealth model. Basically, it's like an on-demand. You could pay a subscription.
What's that called?
You could go to their office, like direct primary care.
Yeah, direct primary care.
DPC, maybe.
Yep.
Which is a great model. I
love that model. We don't have one close to us.
Yeah, you basically pay a subscription based off the size of your family, and you can get everything up to like X-rays and I think even MRIs at discount prices.
Yeah,
it's really not until you get to some of the more serious stuff to where you go to a hospital or whatnot.
Right.
But you would do that with your primary care physician, anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's been going on for a little bit, and a lot of the benefits that a lot of them propose or promote is this idea that if you think you're coming down with a sinus infection or a cold or whatever, you can call and they can diagnose you basically over the phone.
Right.
And so that's not new. What is new is that every
doctor is
clinic, hospital, and doctor is now doing it. In fact, I do know of a large hospital system in our area that they were working on a telehealth project that kind of just like, well, let's not work on it now. And then when everything just went to like,
boom,
nope, they got it done. What did my friend, like 6 to 8 weeks, the project that they were just
crazy,
kind of going slowly because other things took priority. And, we're just used to this environment where people go to the doctor. And I think people will still do that. But I think this will stay. I think we'll see more subscription models. And I
Yeah.
think we'll see people do kind of what we're doing now. You'll go to your desk and it's like, you'll get on a Zoom call. The doctor will basically ask you the same questions that they would ask
Mhm.
you in the office anyway. The only thing I can't figure out is like if they want to get like a swab of your throat or something like
Yeah.
that, like maybe they'll come out with some new like do it yourself at home,
Mhm.
like
Well, it's kinda
swab
like
and then
23andMe where you can swab to get
yeah,
your DNA test. I wonder if they'll do things like that, but I guess it's fine if you're it's not very fast.
it's not fast unless you can get your swab done, get it in like maybe they pay for, FedEx overnight or whatever that gets it to the lab,
Right.
the next morning and they do the test.
So there is a delay. I think
Right.
we'll have to figure out the balance of this, but I completely agree. Telehealth is going to be huge because it pulls in a communications piece, which we can
Mm-hmm.
talk about, health tech,
Mm-hmm.
which is huge right now, obviously for a
Mm-hmm.
very specific, obvious reason of trying to figure out how to innovate faster than the speed of light to find
Right.
a way to deal with this COVID situation.
And
But
it might also open up opportunities for medical device companies too, to where maybe the doctor, if you sign up with a doctor, they send you now like almost like a box, like a package in the mail that
yeah,
maybe contains like a pre-approved, Internet of Things, so Wi-Fi connected heart rate monitor, maybe,
yeah,
and like a
yeah,
temperature, like a thermometer,
yep.
that then they can get real-time access to you. So a lot of those things they can just assess right there.
I think we'll see it. So health tech in general. So I think the telehealth, anything that we can do remote, doing over the air kind of things, I think it's going to be huge. I mean, it's not going to go away, like you said. I think that's going
No.
to stick around for a long time. What else in health tech? I think we are obviously seeing some hardware innovations because people are trying to figure out ventilator systems. Although
Mhm.
there's now a whole debate whether or not we're going to just have this massive surplus of ventilators. Um, 3D printing
Mhm.
health technology. I think you're going to see 3D printing in general. People are going to go to saying, instead of having something manufactured where there's issues of having everybody in the same
Yeah.
facility, and then of course having things shipped, which now has risk of contamination because of delivery. Why not print it at home?
I'll just make my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not gotten into 3D printing at all. I've never done it,
Right.
but we've got lots of friends that have used 3D printed products. But I think I think it will become more mainstream, and less difficult to do. So people will just be able to know how to plug in their filament, be able to just push print, and it'll be out of the box.
And they're not like cost prohibitive anymore.
No,
Like,
no, no.
okay, Amazon, one 4.5 stars, $240.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's approachable. It's getting to the point of like, oh, it's like a video game console or a
Yeah.
3D printed thing.
Yep.
There is a bit of a learning curve, so just trying to figure out how to get to that.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
The actual designing of it
right,
is probably
right.
the
But
most difficult. After that, the printer takes care of itself.
a lot of that comes pre-designed. You would just
Mm.
download a
Oh
3D,
yeah,
you'd
like
download the
like
model.
CAD or
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I think that's what we'll see is hopefully people making more accessible marketplaces for things that anyone, like our kids could print something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's keep moving because I know we have a number of things to get through here, and there's so much we can unpack on each of these. Communications in general. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's kind
We're
of
doing it right now.
yeah,
Zoom.
it's an obvious one. Not that was already coming, but I think, again, because of this time, this is kind
Mm-hmm.
of my point. A lot of this was already happening. Like you said, they were already working on that telehealth product.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This moment just went, oh, priorities just shifted. We're going to like pour gasoline on this.
Yep.
And I think online communications just went through that. Like,
Oh
we
yeah.
have to now be able to communicate one to one or one to many anywhere in the world immediately.
Yep, absolutely.
Um,
And it's no longer for early adopters. Like I had a call with my extended family on Sunday night,
yeah.
cousins I haven't talked to in a while. They're all on Zoom using it. And I thought to myself, I wonder when did they find out about Zoom?
I
Like we've
know.
been using it for a while.
I know. I think it was
But
the last episode that I was like, it's mine. You can't have
yeah,
it.
like, yeah, when did you get on all of this technology?
Right,
And
right,
so
right.
it's thrust startups, but also really just companies that were humming along anyways.
Yeah.
It's like the market just like said, cleared the way, gave a path like, here you go.
Yeah.
Like this is the biggest opportunity for you ever to present your technology to the world.
And with that comes a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
The second industry that I think we're going to see just explode, and honestly, there's a lot of it in Kansas City, is cybersecurity. Because of everyone moving to 100% digital work, 100% digital work. Now we're going to see an issue of the stupid people in the world are going to take advantage of others. That's humanity shining through, even with stuff that should make us better.
Right. They're already doing it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's already been headlines on different products just because of, people getting hacked.
Yeah. And so companies are just going to have to dial into that at a greater scale, at a greater velocity. And then cybersecurity firms are just going to make bank doing it to support it. I think new tech is going to come out. When we were working with some of our cybersecurity clients, really impressed with some of the things that companies like, I'm drawing a blank. I don't remember who it was now. I know it'll pop up in my head later.
But cybersecurity in general.
Yeah. So I think we're going to see that industry continue to flourish just because it has to. It has to.
Right.
Though I still think there'll be some emotional decisions as we see enterprises suffer because of the economy. That's going to affect the amount of budget they can spend on security.
Oh yeah. So, there's still a trickle effect.
There's a trend. Yeah. There's
that is going to be,
real.
we may not even feel it for 12 to 18 months, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I mean, the stock market will rebound quickly, but then there's usually a 12 to 18 month delay of like every other aspect of the economy.
Yep.
So if the stock market does this, hey, everyone, the economy is trailing. Everyone's day to day, Main Street's going to trail.
Yeah. And I try not to get too concerned thinking about that.
Yeah. But hopefully, if a lot of these new companies that are popping up can then provide new opportunities, new jobs for those that lost jobs to businesses that won't be able to bounce back. So, I mean, if the silver lining is that the type of industries that we're talking about now, communication, health tech, cybersecurity, if they present new opportunities, hopefully those individuals that lost their job can move to new companies, new types of industries. So
that's the goal. Go
ahead. Gaming, esports.
I mean,
it's going crazy.
You got tween boys, right?
Yeah, but they're playing a game though that it's been played for the last 2 years. I mean, think of all the games that are going to come out and tournaments. They may pump up the promotion of esports with schools being out.
So that was what I was thinking.
Form more teams.
Will you see? Do you think you'll see what was a traditional sports market, people that just liked watching competition, move to watching esports? I don't know. It would be interesting to look at the stats. I don't pay as close attention to that. But will esports have a surge long term because of it's focused right now? It's the only sport that can be played right now.
Right. Yeah, I think so. I think you'll see people log on to a software as a service that is a platform that is specific to where you can see one team of faces on a UI.
That exists.
Another one, and then you watch the game.
Twitch has millions and millions and millions of users, and people are making a ton of 16-year-old boys are making a ton of money on that platform.
Right.
And the teams that play are, I will say, to watch the strategy they have is super nerdy fun to see how good they are at those games.
But I think this will present new competitors too.
Yeah.
Coming out of like, how can we do this better?
Yeah. It'll be I don't know. I mean, I think, you'll see new platforms, but I think what you're going to see is like management companies that start to get formed. So people that are managing the players. I think there'll be a whole subsector of that industry that and it's the fastest growing sports industry already. Again, this is just throwing fuel on the fire. What was that? Are you watching people game now? You did. You just went to Twitch, didn't you?
Yeah. My kids watch this all the time for Minecraft.
Oh yeah.
They watch this same guy, I don't know, he's probably 14.
What's sad is, I mean, like guys like Ninja or, some of the really famous ones, they not sad. It's not sad. That's not what I meant. Like it's interesting to see how much, I mean, these guys are multimillionaires because of it.
I think you'll see people though longing and craving for, because of just interaction in relationship. I think the craving of getting back to playing sports with people is going to be felt. It's felt now just because all this stuff.
I wouldn't take that away, but
I don't think, I don't think it will be
here's
taken
my
away.
question though. How long of quarantine or a new way of living will exist? What am I trying to say? At what point will people forget that they long for that? Does that make sense? You remember it because you played sports since you were 4 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so like it is in your blood to play sports. But for kids growing up that are already been spending more time on computers anyways, not playing as many sports, now we're being forced to not play sports. At what point does it actually start to just kind of fall out of interest? I don't know.
I don't know, because sports start so young. Like
I know, but
kids are in multiple activities down like all the way to age 5.
I know, but what if it doesn't? I'm saying, imagine a world where we're stuck in quarantine for longer. I I do go down.
Well, I mean, if there's like if there's a vaccine within, by the fall, I mean, you would have to be in a quarantine for a long time for people to forget sporting events. I mean, there's some of the big gatherings in the world, like World Cup. It's I think it's the largest gathering.
How long will that take? How long would it take of like us?
72 years.
Wow, you just picked a number.
So I hope we're not in quarantine for 72 years.
Anyways, okay, let's move on. So online gaming is huge. Online entertainment, no question. We're all watching more shows, more. Here's the question though. I think the biggest challenge is going to be, how do you create new content? Yeah, we're fine because we have a backlog of content that's been created over the last year or two. But if you can't get together on set to shoot, that has all the industries that are supporting the creation of new content, you now have a backlog of old content. So people start watching reruns, I guess. But creating new content is a challenge. But we are seeing people consuming more media. But even like my YouTube, I watch more YouTube than anything, and I've noticed a huge slowdown in just content being created.
Oh yeah,
because
it can't be.
Yeah, you don't have the travel vloggers that are going out and flying all over the world all the time. You don't have the person doing some crazy thing out in a social experiment in the middle of a college campus because campuses are closed. It's just it's drastically changed.
Yeah. And I think that is a indicator. Well, that, and whether it's athletics or just content, is just a leading indicator of the fact that the best things are done in community. And I think people are going to be longing to get back to that. And so I think all of us
already are.
Oh yeah. It's like, when can I actually be around people again that I really enjoy? Yeah.
Without a face mask.
Without a face mask. So, again, a lot of this hinges on, one, how quickly a vaccine can be created, but then distributed to the world.
The entire world. Yeah.
Yes.
Just that thing.
It should be done in a day.
Rome was built in a day, right? Okay. So some kind of more interesting ones that I came across, especially in Japan, parts of China, is the rise of robots. In order to keep people distanced, they are using robots as a means to deliver to doors. So like if you live in a high rise, it's like, don't leave your apartment. So people literally are not leaving their apartments. I live in the suburbs. I go for walks. I can get out. I have a yard. I can get fresh air. And these people are not leaving their apartments for months. And they're having things delivered to them. All their food comes in through a robot. All of their stuff comes in through a robot. So there's literally no human interaction. That's scary. The whole mental health market, that's another space that's I think we're gonna see explode. But robots is a big piece, because now we'll want to use technology to to move things so that we're reducing contact.
Mhm. Yep, absolutely.
So robots, this is their opportunity. You know, they wanted to take over.
They're going to take over. Maybe
Um,
they created COVID, the robots.
Too soon. It's scary. I don't want to think about it. Maybe a future robot came back. Isn't that
All
what
right, now we're getting into sci-fi.
Terminator? Yeah. E-learning. So you've got kiddos. I've got kiddos.
Mhm.
We're attempting to educate them while at home. Not doing so great, I'll be honest, on my end, but it's happening. We're trying. They're using Google a lot. They're mostly learning through Google.
Mhm. Yeah.
And through YouTube,
Right.
which is how I learn now too. So,
Right.
but I think e-learning platforms, Khan Academy,
Mhm.
things like that, I think we're going to
Yep.
just see teachers moving to saying, well, because there's word that, I mean, there's a lot of states are saying plan for e-learning in the fall, that we're not going to
Mhm.
be going back to school in August, September timeframe.
Right.
So you're going to have to figure out how to teach your kids through Zoom or
Yeah.
through online curriculum.
Yep. I do wonder if, depending on how quickly they can roll out that certain amounts of people from as far as a density can be in a building, if because a lot of kids don't have internet at home,
I know.
and so for those they might require, who knows, this is just a conjecture, they might require individual families that do have internet. If you do have internet, you're going to be e-learning.
Mm-hmm.
And those individuals that don't have it, if you can reduce, maybe cut the numbers in a school in half, or even like 30%, cut them in by 60%, depending on who has internet, is those that don't have internet can still go, and they're just going to have to drastically change how
Mm-hmm.
desks are situated. Maybe even like, as big as some of the gymnasiums are in
Right.
the high schools and middle schools, even the elementary school, completely spread out all those desks and allow those that need that attention because they just can't get access to it.
It's interesting.
My hope is that they're able to do something like that, because if it's all e-learning, there's going to be a lot of families that are going to be struggling.
So I do know some communities are repurposing them. Have you seen this? They're repurposing buses to have
Mm-hmm.
Wi-Fi hotspots that go into neighborhoods that don't have,
Oh, that's cool.
statistically have less um, internet access.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're doing is basically creating mobile hotspots
Mm-hmm.
where kids can come out, be close to it, or they can actually, broadcast with a lot larger broadband to the neighborhood.
Right.
So I think you'll either have to do something like what you described, or if
Mm-hmm.
we're still being forced to stay away from each other, you'll have to find a solution to get more access to more people being on the internet.
And resourcing with like hardware, making sure each family has a computer or an iPad. I
Yeah,
know that they supply a lot of the middle school and high school, but
yeah,
they don't do that for elementary school. So I think
true.
it's more for the elementary, is making sure that everyone, if they do that, that at least one laptop per family.
Yep, yep. And there's been a lot of initiatives a lot of the big tech companies have tried to do things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, again, this is a time where that will get fuel thrown on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Obvious ones, we already talked about remote work. That's
What's
just kind
that?
of, I don't know, never heard of it.
You
I
mean
think this,
there's not like 17 articles every 10 minutes about remote work?
I know we're definitely contributing it to it, but
And it's
yeah,
good though.
it's
It's
good.
good. I think
I just want to talk
there's
about something else.
there's a goodness to the overload, because you want to keep pushing it and you can still learn about it. But
Yeah, yeah,
you just have to, I think that's where it takes your own willpower to just say, okay, I'm not going to read anything more about that this
uh-huh.
week.
Yeah.
There's just too much. It's
This
just
is
too
too
much.
many things.
Yeah.
I think you put this one in here, or you mentioned it. Contactless payment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm ready for this. I think this is like, why am I still swiping a credit card?
Mm-hmm.
Why? I mean, you can do tap with your phone. I think that's just going to become the normal.
Mm-hmm.
I still, I still want a future where all I have is a phone. I don't want a wallet anymore. I don't want to carry my license around. I don't want to carry multiple cards around. I just want to have my phone. One thing. Side note, quarantine, I have had no reason to put a wallet in my back pocket because I'm not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my posture is better. That's not true. My posture's still pretty terrible.
You could just put it in your front pocket.
I know,
let's just be honest.
But it is weird for me to not be, because like I would always kind of tap my wallet just to make sure I remembered it when I was going to go someplace, and then realizing I haven't had my wallet for a while, and I'm like, this is great. This is what I always wanted, is to not have to carry around a wallet.
I think tap is great, but even taking platforms like Venmo and Cash App to the next level.
What do you think that next level looks like?
Integration with like QuickBooks and stuff like that. And maybe they do now. I'm not for sure. I don't use Venmo.
Square does.
Yeah. But I like Venmo. I don't know. I don't use Venmo. We don't use Venmo as a business. I use it all the time personally, for, neighbors or kids, sporting, coach, like, hey, just Venmo me the registration fee, that sort of thing.
It exists, just so you know.
Yeah. Perfect. It'd be great if, restaurants had an easy way, or, grocery stores or whatever, to where, if you're walking up, like, especially, I think a lot more people are going to do carry out. And so if you're able to pay, obviously you can pay on your phone, or not, you just, you order and then you go there, and whether it's a geofence or whatnot, and you use Venmo, it can automatically give you a notification like, do you want to pay? Yes. And then the business can receive it.
Have you been doing carry out? Have you been guys eating out? Most of the restaurants that we've been going to, like, we've already paid online. So we pull up, they're looking for our car and they bring it out to us.
Right. But even when you go back into eating at a restaurant, it'd be great if like no one even has to touch my card. I don't even want to touch my wallet necessarily, maybe to the device.
I agree.
It's all just done by, I'm sitting there.
So Square used to have, and I assume they got rid of it, because remember that where you could walk into a coffee shop, as long as you had the app on your person, then all you could order, and if they had the Square, if the shop had the Square app running the shop, it would just be like, hey, I've got just put it on my tab, and as you walk away, you get billed through the Square app that was in your pocket. They know you're there because of proximity. And it kind of went away. And I remember thinking, this is the future. I didn't touch anything. I was just in the space. They knew I was there. I think there are some risks there. So some security risks that, like, people might've been getting charged that weren't, or maybe the wrong person was getting charged or something like that. So maybe there's some issues there, but if you can fix that, it's like the Amazon retail experience, or the Amazon grocery store experience, which we did when we were in Seattle. Amazing. A little annoying to get in because you have to have the app, and it has to like let you in. But then once you're in there, you just grab some stuff and you walk out, and it charges you for whatever you had in your basket.
Right. When did Square rebrand it to Cash App?
Cash App is a different thing. Cash App is
it two separate companies?
No. It's Cash App is just one of their products. So Cash App is just how you send money person to person. It's not their business app. Square, what's it called?
It used to be to where it was all Square Cash, because I'm just reading an old article. Actually, no, it's April 13th, 2020. It says create an email to whoever you want to pay.
Yeah, that's P2P. That's Square Cash. But we're talking about paying a business. And that's just having the Square app. I think Square Cash was the new version of the personal Square app.
Gotcha.
There's somebody here in Kansas City, I think, that works for Square. Anyways, contactless payments. I think anything we can do to reduce, I have to admit though, this whole like never being able to touch people again. I mean, once we get the vaccine, I'm a toucher. I'm one of those people that like pats you on the back or gives you a hug or shakes your hand. I used to say that one of my ways that I got to know people better was that I would touch your arm, like just as a kind of like, hey, I hear you, I see you, I know that I'm here. And now just the social norm of that will be really awkward for a long time.
It was always awkward. People just embraced you.
I was just so likable, they let me do it, right? That's probably true. What other industries can you think of? That's what I had on my list. I bet there's more.
I think we covered it all, at least the ones that I've been I mean, I think a lot of companies will need to change the way that they do certain things because of this. So I think insurance in general will need to
Mhm.
basically move into the
Or
21st century.
any professional services,
Yeah, I mean, anything that
fintech.
requires, yeah, whether it's, online reviews of proposals, anything that any transaction that requires a lot of paperwork, I mean, think how overwhelmed the insurance companies were probably getting as this was happening, of like, so people that were that have Airbnbs, like they're taking on substantial losses, so they're going to probably reach out to their insurance company. Businesses all over reaching out to their insurance company. That's not an easy thing to do. I mean, you
Mm-mm.
get put into a call center and then who knows how long you're going to be there. And so I
Manage
think,
anything that manages cases.
yeah, anything that manages cases, I
Mm.
think just overall operations behind the scenes at companies like that. And it's not just behind the scenes. I think anything that's consumer facing needs to move into where um, it's a better customer experience, and you can get what you need faster. Premium payment processing and just the financing behind that. I just think that there's going to be a lot that the insurance company is going to be like, okay, this has shown us where we are behind the times,
Mhm.
shown us where we're slow. And I think a lot more in insurance tech is huge. I mean, it really is. I just think they're slow to adopt. I think there's a lot of
Well, and
startups.
look at the banks. I mean, look how many loans just got fulfilled
Mm-hmm,
completely without having to go in and sign. Well,
mm-hmm,
we did sign a lot of things, but without having to go in and sign at a physical bank office or bank
mm-hmm.
branch.
Yeah,
That had just
yeah,
become
absolutely.
normal. Why?
So
Why?
I just think there's big businesses that aren't going anywhere just because of the industry they're in. I mean, they're essential. It doesn't really matter what happens. They're not really going to go anywhere unless they mismanage themselves financially, which happened in 08, 09 to a lot of insurance companies and financial institutions. But I think that they're going to realize that they need to rethink their, not supply chain, but just the chain from initial contact and of the user to final completion, whether it's shortening the time. And think how many times, and think how many pathways insurance companies have. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
all the different ways that someone might contact, Aetna or Allstate or whatever. I mean, there's so many different reasons they might contact them. I think they need to figure out a way that online I can do that all by sitting here. I shouldn't need to have to really talk to anyone on the phone. I should be able to just sit here, a good experience. I should be able to sign right here rather than have to print off a bunch of stuff, sign in blue ink to prove that it was me.
Why do we
I don't,
sign things?
I know.
Signature
Everything should
means
be on a
nothing.
form. I shouldn't have to fill out a PDF. Everything should be on a form. It should be submitted, and it should just be a lot easier.
Yeah, so you're talking that takes the
These are,
conversation.
yeah. I,
That takes it to conversation as slight. Maybe that's one of our next conversations, because those are more what are the industries that needs to either step up or will be replaced by something else.
yeah.
I would only think of, and maybe we don't have the time to go there today, but in one of our future episodes, let's talk about that, because I think we're going to see the companies that right now they're flourishing because people being at home, out of necessity, we need to have access to some of these things, learning, communications, etc. These are companies that are by nature of the current environment flourishing.
Mm-hmm.
Albeit it probably sucks to be in those companies right now. It's probably really hard to work there and to do the work they're doing. I think that there's another conversation around what are the companies that need to change in order to survive, or to do better work. So I'm right there with you with insurance and banking and a few others, but that would be an interesting thing to kind of to dive into, because you say they're not going to go away, but we've seen industries go away that we thought were never going to go away because they were replaced by something that just fixed the problem better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's innovation. If these companies can't keep up, they will be replaced by something.
Yeah, and it's somebody that provides the exact same product, but in a completely different and much better way. They address the need in so much whether it's faster or, yeah, I mean, we've worked with the clients before where our sole purpose was to reduce the time it took for applying for something. I mean, we've done that several times.
Multiple times, yeah.
And, we're told that the average length between this and this is, say 5 days. And their goal is we want to do it within 12 hours. I mean, that is innovation. They're providing the exact same end product. The same person walks away with the exact same thing, but they got it faster and it's higher quality.
Right.
And I think that's what this experience is showing those types of companies is there are a lot of gaps we can fill. And
I think the question is will you see startups during this time go, oh, hey, big insurance company that can't move, that can't change fast enough to adapt. Going back to our core conversation about adaptive teams, you can't change fast enough to adapt. So I'm just going to create a new type of insurance company that can solve the same problem with a better, faster, more human-based solution. And yeah, you no longer need to exist. I could see big billion-dollar companies being put out of business because they did not change fast enough.
I mean, or build a system that all the big insurance companies use your software.
Right. Okay, more on that. We'll talk about that next time.
I'm looking forward to that.
I think it'll be great.
It will be wonderful, and I will show up.
I didn't get a chance to ask you last time, but how's the house? You guys good? Everything?
Yeah, we're doing this week. Let's see, we're Tuesday. Yeah, the last couple of weeks have been really good. The kids are doing really good with their schedules.
Man, you guys are better parents than we are.
That's not true. Wait. Can you hear my dog? Yeah.
I can't.
So anyone that's listening, yeah, my office / the playroom for my youngest is in the basement, which is also by our big couch and our big TV and the Xbox. So from 1:30
I've heard some pretty epic Fortnite games. Yeah.
From 1:30 to 4:30, I tell you what, the 3 oldest, they get an hour each and they're online playing. So that's awesome. Afternoon is the best time for them. But I've really loved I have so much time to just walk around, like whether it's outside and like, oh, I could fix that. I'm not doing anything. I've got nowhere to go.
That's true.
So I'm just going to do some projects. So it's been kind of fun just to do some fix up type projects.
Why do I not feel like I have that time? What am I doing? You keep saying that. You're like, oh, I feel like I just have time to work on stuff. I'm like, I don't feel like I have more time. I feel like maybe I'm just not prioritizing things really well. I feel like I'm working more transparently just because I can, because it's accessible. It's right here. I feel like, what I probably end up doing is I don't do projects. Like we go play. I mean, we you go for walks or a bike ride or something. And that just, for me, it's just about getting away. There's the whole backside of my house. We live in a suburban neighborhood that has an HOA that I know we're going to get sited on soon because we flipped our kitchen and replaced a bunch of paneling on the back of the house, and it hasn't been painted. It's just like raw. I mean, it's primer paint, but we look like that. People walk down the path and you can tell they look at our house like
they just point up at there.
Yeah, when are they ever going to
look at that house?
It's embarrassing. So we're those people right now. So I should probably go paint. Why don't I go to that and we'll wrap up here?
You're going to go paint?
I probably won't. But it's just I don't feel like way to wrap up the conversation.
So right, George is going to go paint.
And you're going to subscribe. Thank you guys always for listening to our episodes. I know we're exploring a couple different topics right now. We're just trying to pay attention. Part of our framework, part of our conversation is pay attention to what you're paying attention to. And I think that we're trying to see, last time I was talking about tools. What tools are we using? How we can pay attention to what's helping us to do our best work. This time we're talking about the industries or the markets or the companies that are flourishing in this time. Okay, interesting. That's tied to the work that we do. Let's pay attention to that. So we're just trying to really maybe not get distracted by the doom and the gloom of COVID in general, or the fear of it, and instead lean into pay attention to the opportunity that's being created in it. So that was kind of our purpose today. So more to come on that. And like I said, thank you for subscribing. Make sure that you Share this with your coworkers, with your bosses, with your friends. And if you can, give us a little 5-star review. It goes a long way. Really appreciate that. Dan, always good to see your beautiful face.
And, likewise, your voice, sultry. Nice to be here.
I do miss our hugs, but we'll get there one day. All right, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Hi, my name is Gabby Caton, and I'm the marketing specialist at Crema. I help manage our paid ad campaigns, formulate our content strategy, work on collaborative partnerships with our companies, and ensure Crema has a positive online presence. I mostly work with the growth team and the Vera team. I enjoy working at Crema because I have some of the best coworkers in the world. They're always eager to help and have great attitudes. Option 5 is a podcast by Crema, a digital product agency that creates web and mobile apps for disruptive companies and industry leaders. We believe that design, technology, and culture can help create a world where individuals and companies thrive. Learn more at crema.us.